it's Cornelia. Welcome to this episode of the podcast. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. Today is all about sharing a story with you about visibility and why being seen feels so hard from time to time. I recently quit on all social media platforms for I think about 4 months. And that happened. This always happens when I am online, when I'm visible. And this is a story that I used to tell myself all the time. When something happens, I can drop anything, that's fine. And then I just don't come back. That's something super hard to do for me to get back on the social track. And maybe for you, it's starting is hard. You haven't started before. You're not visible at all with your business or as a personal brand. And you want to. Maybe you secretly want to. For me, it started, I didn't even have Instagram until I started my business. And my business coach said, "You need Instagram." And I'm like, well, I'm not sure I do. And honestly, I'm still not sure you do. But I thought, well, maybe she has a point. Maybe I should try this. That is how I started. And that was years ago. I think it's 4 years now. And showing up, starting to show up, I think that's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I am this introvert, highly sensitive person who much rather wants to be alone a lot of the time. And showing up, showing my face on camera, telling a story, starting a podcast, it was like it wasn't even in my view of things that were possible for me. It was just, oh, this is something people do. I probably need to do this too. And I didn't understand at that moment why it's so nice to have a personal brand, to have people know you because they buy way more easily from you when they feel like they know you. So having a personal brand makes everything a lot easier in business. And I didn't know that at that point. And still showing up in a consistent manner because I have done a lot of things in being visible. But consistency is definitely not one of them. I think consistency is one of the hardest things that I am doing, that I'm trying to achieve. And it's still hard for me to show up in a continuous, structured kind of way. And I'm a very structured person, so that surprised me, to be honest. And I wanted to make this podcast also for you and taking you along on the journey that I walked on in becoming visible, and why, even though I do it very often and I'm comfortable doing it, it's still hard sometimes. And I wanted to do that because when I started, I only saw people who were very successful, like the 10,000 or more followers. Oh, they had 5,000 followers, and I literally started at zero. I didn't even have like a personal account. There was no one. There was no one on Instagram. There was no one on the podcast platforms that listened to me. Literally, absolutely zero. And even though I tried so hard to do it right and to show up and to be consistent, I've been consistent in the past. It didn't give the results that I wanted. I did I did stuff not right. And that was so tough and disappointing to see other people take off. And I'm still sitting here doing my job on a daily basis, making stories on Instagram, making posts and stuff, and not growing at all. The frustration that comes with not growing and not reaching the people that you want to reach made it very hard for me to show up, to continue to show up. I think that's how it started. I took many courses. I always take many courses when I want to learn a new skill. So I learned how to make good reels. I learned how to make good stories. I learned how to talk into the camera and have like a connected conversation with my phone, which is weird if you think about it. Talking to your phone and feeling like, hey, that's my friends, and I make this for the people around there. But the talking feels so natural now. It didn't used to feel that natural. It was the first time I showed up, I was so scared to do that. And then to put it online, to put it up and have people actually see it, not necessarily engage with it either though. I did that for a year. A year long, I made story every single day for Instagram, for my Instagram account. And after a year, I still only had 200 followers, I think. Maybe it was even less. It's just, I done so much and it just didn't grow at all. And that was super frustrating. And that came on top of visibility is not a natural thing to do for many people, but for extrovert people, it's easier because they usually think out loud, so they talk. They are easier with the center, being in the center of attention. And me, as this introvert, highly sensitive person, I'm like I'm this wallflower. I didn't like to be the center of attention. I was very like righteous as a kid. So when stuff happened, I was the one to speak up. Hey, this guy pushed that guy and it went down like this. That's what I did. So I spoke up when I felt like I needed to. But being in the center of attention, just to be in the center of attention, definitely not my thing. And and then starting on Instagram, it was weird and tough. And then I didn't grow. And that's, I think, my biggest problem with Instagram is growing is hard. And I don't think there are a lot of honest stories out there about that growth is really hard. And you really have to do stuff to actually grow and attract people to your brand. And if you have no idea what you're doing and you're just showing up every day, it's not enough anymore. Yeah, but my biggest problem with everything is I can show up on a daily basis. I can do that. I can push myself. It's all fine. But the moment something happens in my personal life and I'm disappointed or I'm sad, and in this case, 4 months ago, I was in a very intense rehabilitation tragic. Wow, how do I explain this? I was in a very intense rehabilitation situation with my horse. She has an injury on her leg, and apparently that injury has been there for a very long time. And we were in this rehab and it went really well and then it did not go so well anymore, and she was showing more signs of pain with crinkles around her eyes and being super slow. And you have to imagine, like, I pour like my heart and my soul into this horse. I go there on a daily basis. I take care of her. I brush her. I ride her. I train her. We do all this amazing stuff together that makes me feel really good. Like riding on the grass at the barn and going for walks outside. And we went to the vet for the third time, I think it was. And I already knew the moment I got her out of the paddock where she's living, I thought, well, she's slow, she doesn't have energy, she looks like really she's in pain. So we went to the vet and the news was really bad. The conclusion is that my 7-year-old horse is done. Actually, there's no way of training anymore. Like everything that my dreams, like riding on the beach, jumping, all that kind of stuff, it's not gonna happen. Her leg can't take it. And it will not gonna, it won't get better. Like in the weeks before that happened, I was online, I was doing my thing, I was showing up, making stories, making reels, making podcasts even. And then this happened, and I was pushed into a very raw state of mind. I was very sad. I'm still grieving on this topic actually about my horse. And I said to myself, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to show up online right now. If you're not feeling it, that's okay. Just take off for like a week or maybe two. But here we are, 4 months along, and I haven't been online for the past 4, maybe even 5 months now. Yeah, that's interesting because how do you start up again? How are you going to make the time? Because becoming visible and being visible on a regular basis, it takes time. It definitely takes some sort of effort. It's not going to happen out of surprisingly by itself. You like do knip your fingers and you're like, yeah, well, that it's there. And this is not how it works. It takes effort and energy to become visible, to be visible. And like feeling this not happy in his not happy state, I always have trouble to go back online. There has to be some sort of trigger to do, and otherwise I'll just leave it be and I'll just do everything else, take care of my clients, take care of everybody else that's running around with my business. But I just like dump the I have to put in effort to be visible marketing part. That's just like not gonna happen anymore. I made like a list of stuff that I wanted to tell you guys. So that's what you hear on the background now. Because starting up again or starting at all, I think it's also like I want to start with a bang because I know that all these platforms, if you have gone away for a while and you start again, the first time you're on, they push you out. They're like, "Hey, she's back," and they make that kind of nice, and they enlarge your reach. And I want to like come back with a bang. Well, there is no bang when you're grieving or when you're feeling sad, so that's kind of hard to do. So that's one of the problems. The second problem that you might have as well is the thought, oh, what will people think? What am I even gonna share? Like, what shall I tell? What won't I tell? Because the grief for my horse, it was so intense that I didn't want to talk about it that much because I don't want, and I still don't want, by the way, replies on, hey, you should do this or you should do that or you should do like whatever. I didn't want the engagement. And now I've figured a lot of stuff out in my grief. And if people do that now, it's like I still don't want it. So if you think about doing that, please don't. But if it happens, it's not the end of the world anymore. But yeah, what will people think? How will they react? That's always on the back of my mind. And it could be a big problem in coming back. So that's the second thing. That's like showing up is hard when you're not feeling like it. And for me, this right now is grief, but it happened before. Like when I'm on my period, that's usually the week that I drop everything, or the week before that usually. Because I don't feel creative. There's nothing, no inspiration, and I need some inspiration to actually do my shit. That's a problem. Then it could be like the period, it could be like this grief, or I'm just so busy with everything else and my head just can't take it anymore to do marketing. It's just too busy. I don't have the time. I don't make the time, because you can make time if you want. And I don't know what it could be for you, the reason to not show up. There could be so many reasons. Afraid of what people think of you. What do you want to say? What shall you say? What makes impact? What is going to help people? What should I share? These are all thoughts that, well, at least they hold me back, and I probably think they might hold you back too. I have another weird thing, and it might not be as weird as I think, because I talk about this with other people, and they're usually like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm scared to look at data. And I think the main reason that I didn't grow for such a long time has to do with this particular thing. Because data is going to tell you who is watching, how they interact with it. Do you grow? Is your following growing? How long do they look at your video? Well, it depends on where you are, if you can actually see that or not, but still. On Spotify, how many people are listening, or on Apple or on YouTube, wherever you're listening to this. There's all this data. And for me, data that shows that it's not going well means that I failed. And it really feels bloody painful that I'm not good enough. That's usually what happens. This is like a circle, never ending thing where I can be in. Like, I don't want to look at data. I'm not improving myself. So showing up doesn't have the result that I want, but I don't want to look at data, so I don't improve myself. And then the result is still not improving. This fear of data, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I tried to work on it. I worked on it, obviously. But it's still not my favorite thing to do. No. But let's go back to the moment when my business coach told me, hey, you need Instagram. You need to make an Instagram profile. And my first question was, why should I do that? And she was like, everybody else is doing it. You need to be too. And I really, thinking back, I don't think that was a really good answer. Why do you need to, what should be a reason to be visible? And when you look at marketing, and you can do all kinds of stuff in marketing, like honestly, you don't need to have a personal brand and be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcasting. You don't need it for a successful business. The thing is, having a personal brand and being visible, it will open doors that you never thought of. It will help you to create an expert status. It will help you if you do advertising. Your advertising will be cheaper because people can find more about you on other channels, and they could Google you, or they might already know you, and then they see an ad. It makes sure that advertisement is cheaper. There are so many more opportunities when you dare to step into the spotlight. And for me, I would like a consistent client stream. I would like to help as many people as I can. And that's much easier when you have like a big personal brand. It's also easier to find my dream audience, to find the people that I really like, and those are people who look like me, honestly. That's for many entrepreneurs, that's the case. I like to work with female entrepreneurs. I like to work with people who are highly sensitive. I like to work with people who want to do stuff on a personal growth, with personal growth. They're interested in improving themselves. And I, as expert on that, on improving yourself and learning new stuff, and I know how to teach people because I am an international certified neurolinguistic programming trainer, which has all to do with communication and improving yourself and personal growth. And I'm certified in that. I took a large, long education to do. And I want to help these women to become successful because I believe that women are the answer to a lot of the problems that we have in this world. And I really want women to be empowered to actually take the stage, earn their own money, and change this world together for the better. That is one of my personal drives. And then obviously that's the I want to contribute drive. I also have a drive, an inner drive. I just want to earn money and have a really nice life. Let's be honest. That's also part of becoming an entrepreneur. And that's, for me, that's also part of becoming visible online, because it really helps me to build a successful business, to sell training and workshops to people here in the Netherlands where I live. They find me much more easily. And because I dove into the personal branding, I really found out, okay, this is what I should say when I meet people, so they actually remember me. I have a lot of lessons. There's a whole like module on that in one of my courses, Shine as Introverted Boss. There are a lot of good things that can happen when you are visible that don't happen when you're not, because people do not know you. Of course, becoming visible is, well, like I said, I still struggle with that after still 4 years, and I'm comfortable in the spotlight. I'm comfortable talking in front of groups. I am comfortable talking to the camera. I'm comfortable hearing my own voice back. I am fairly good at storytelling. I know how to make reels. I know how to make short form videos. I know how to create online courses. I know all these things, and still showing up on a regular basis is still something that I could struggle with from time to time, especially when stuff happens in my private life, as I told you with my horse. But I think the first thing that I did, and that always helps me getting back online, it really truly always does, is I set a goal for myself. And the first time I did that, I said, well, I want to be online daily for a year. And I think it ended up being 7 months. Daily, I made stories daily, 7 days a week. I sometimes just put up one story, and usually it was a real storyline with a couple of stories. But I did that for 7 months straight. The goal was a year, but 7 months straight. And I think after 7 months, I got so disappointed with not growing at all and not looking at my data, because let's be honest, that's definitely part of the problem. Is it really got me back into the game. And right now, I always make a new goal. Like for now, I am launching a new, well, yeah, the course is renewed, Shine as Introverted Boss. And I'm going to start giving masterclasses on this topic, be visible and attract clients in an introvert-friendly way. That's the masterclass that I'm teaching. So one of my goals, like, okay, I need to be visible again for this. I need to be in connection with my audience. I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna make sure that I make a podcast, and I'm gonna try to do that on a weekly basis from now on for the rest of the year. No, I said 6 months. 6 months. 6 months, every week, one podcast. I will make 3 Instagram reels as well for 6 months based on the podcast. But how did I get here? Is like the first question you ask yourself is super easy. It's, what do I want? Why do I want this? Like, why do you want to become visible? What is your reason to show up online and become visible? Why do you want it? Because for me, it's super clear. I want to make a real difference in this world. I want to empower women. I want to have a successful business. I want to have a consistent client stream. And I can do that in a lot of ways, by advertising, by email marketing, by sending people messages that are already in my network. Like, I can do a lot of stuff. But this, making a podcast and showing up on Instagram, that's the most effective thing to do to become visible and to grow my audience. So that's why I want this. But why do you want to become visible? What is your reason to say, okay, I want people to know me? Is that because your business needs to be more successful? Is that because you want to make more impact? Is that because you want to earn more money? Or is it because you want to be able to start any business you want and people will buy from you? Because the most successful business launches that are out there are businesses from people with a very strong personal brand. Wow, I lost the name of this. I want to give you like an example of this, but I forgot their names. Oh, that's terrible, because they have like a reality show, and that's how they call the Jenner. No, well, whatever. A different example would be, well, yeah, I'm not very fond of his brand, but still, this person, everybody knows this person. And whatever he does, it's always become a success. And I'm talking about Elon Musk. You know Elon Musk. There's no way you won't know him. He's a very strong personal brand. He's always out there. He's visible on X or Twitter, what it used to be, of course, because it's now his platform. This guy, he makes a success of every new business he starts because he has this strong following. When he started Tesla, people wanted to buy a Tesla. Whereas if I would have started a company for electrical cars, people were like, who are you? I'm not buying from you. And he already has that. Was my point with this. Yeah, why do you want this? Well, there are many reasons you could want this, and launching a new business or being creative and combining everything that you have into one brand, like I have to be at Cornelia for becoming visible, being an introvert entrepreneur, for creating online courses, which is something that's gonna be launched somewhere this year. And that's, you know, why you need to be with me. But you probably also know that I eat vegan, that I love personal growth. And if I would start a new business, I would definitely tell you about it in a way that connects to my brand. But you would know, and you, even if I would like start making candles, you probably would try and buy the candles. That is for me, like I have definitely a lot of creative business ideas in my mind, and it's really nice to know that if I have a strong personal brand, I can do that much more easily than if I would not have this personal brand. So that's the first question. Why do you want this? The second question I ask myself is, why do I need to succeed? Like, what do I need to succeed? So what do you need to succeed on this? Do you need some skills? Do you need help? Do you need materials? Like I am recording this on a microphone and not just my mobile phone because the sound is much better. Maybe you need a better phone. Like I used to have a Fairphone. I'm very fond of stuff sustainable. And a Fairphone is a very sustainable modular phone. However, the camera, not good enough. So as soon as I needed a new phone, I bought a way better high-end phone to record my stories, and which had a much better camera and storage and everything else. What do you need to succeed? And I also need like a plan. I need a plan to succeed because I try to do visibility on the spot. And well, I already shared about being introvert or extrovert. That's a way that you can be wired. Being structured and going with the flow are also two things that are definitely opposite on. And I think going with the flow is not necessarily, you have like structured and non-structured people. And that's, both are totally fine. But I did the non-structured way of making content while I am a very structured person. This is probably why it is not happening to be super consistent for me. So the first question I ask myself, why do I want this? Second question, what do I need to succeed? And the third question is, which strategy is going to fit me? What am I going to do that is going to help me with being visible on a consistent basis? Because I know that is my biggest problem, becoming online in a structured, in a consistent manner. Like 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 1 podcast a week. Like, how am I going to do that? And for now, because I literally answered that question this morning, I really think it's about saving at least 1 morning a week to record a podcast, make the transcription, and split that into 3 Instagram posts, basically. So I'm gonna repurpose stuff, and then I only need filming material with it to make a reel. And I think that should be easy to do. But that's because I already have like the skills of showing up on camera, talking to the camera. I know how to film myself, and all these things that I'm mentioning right now, it's all included in the Shine as Introverted Boss course. Because usually what I do when I'm in I know this is a problem, it used to be a problem for me, and I want to improve on it, then I make a course about it. And this is an updated version of a course that I made in the past. And I'm including now all the personal branding stuff because I figured out how it worked. I wanted to I want to teach that to you guys as well. And the last piece of the puzzle is, okay, I need to find out a way to create a good strategy that actually works for me. And because I needed to figure that out, I'm including that in the course because I know I have to figure it out for myself, and then I do it in a way that could help you too. Usually when I'm stuck in something and I feel like I want to improve myself, I did this with productivity too. Like I wanted to become more productive, wanted to have more structure of more like sense of being more productive. And I created a course about it because that meant I had a free reign of diving into it, reading books, listening to podcasts, and really dive into the topic. And I did that with becoming visible and having a personal brand too. Right now, it is super nice because after this whole trajectory of 4 years trying to show up in a regular way online, I finally like being confident on camera. That's the easiest part. Try talking to the camera for 1 week and look at yourself on camera and listen to yourself on camera and make sure that actually you really look into the camera so people actually see you looking out of the screen instead of if you record yourself looking at the screen. The video does not capture your eyes in a way that you actually make connection. Do that for a week, maybe tops 2 weeks. You don't have to post it. And you're confident on camera. It is so... I was surprised about how easy this was. And the same was with recording podcasts because I already got used to my sound of the voice. It was so easy to record myself, listen back, and figure out, hey, this is my voice now. And I know it sounds a little bit different and it felt a little bit cringy at first, but seriously, listen to yourself for 1 hour and you're over it. Really, I think that really helped. Also, what's happening right now, which is very interesting, I have a lot of people in my network that also follow me on Instagram. And then when we're on the phone, they tell me, hey, nice to talking to you. Hey, how are you? And stuff. Well, yeah, it kind of feels like I talked to you yesterday because you're always on Instagram. I'm really following you and really diving into you. You tell so many funny stories. It's really nice following you. And I'm like, this is interesting. This is like a new step in being visible. People tell me, hey, I feel like I know you. I feel like I know what's going on in your life. And honestly, it's just like 1 minute of my life. And the day is like 24 hours. So there's a big difference in what you see online and what is there in real life. There's a big difference. And realizing that and knowing that I very purposefully put out certain information and then I get that back from people like, hey, it's so nice following you. That was really, I love that. I really love that. It also feels weird, but I also love it. It also feels right now like I am really on the right road and figuring it out, not giving up. It is completely fine. I see this as one big personal growth experience of becoming more visible, getting to know myself better, figuring out what fits me, how can I make it work for me. And I think that's really interesting. So I really feel like I'm on the right road, which is also why I have this masterclass, Be Visible and Attract Clients in an Introvert-Friendly Way. Learn the exact step to show up, to show up authentically and without feeling drained. If you're listening this podcast right when it comes out, there's probably no link in the show notes to this webinar or masterclass, but it will be within a week after posting. I will make sure that there is a link where you can sign up for this masterclass. And yeah, make the first steps to become visible and attract clients in an introvert-friendly way because, well, it took me 4 years to figure this stuff out, and I really don't think that's necessary. And I really would love to help you figure it out yourself, make sure that you can do it much faster than I did. And yeah, that's why I made this masterclass. And I really would love to see you there. And if not, that's fine too. Really, this is, I think, yeah, this is it. this is everything I had to tell you today. And if you felt like this is something that you feel like, hey, I know someone, they might have, wow, I'm gonna cut this somewhere here. If you know someone who you feel like, hey, they might need this, they want to become visible, they struggle with growth, they struggle with being an introvert entrepreneur, please send them this episode. And so they know they're not alone and there's a solution to it. That would make me very happy if you would do that. Please share, and I will see you or hear you or connect with you in the next episode. And if you feel like, hey, I want to leave a comment, that would be great. You can always message me on the DMs in Instagram. And well, if I am showing up on a regular basis, you'll definitely get an answer. I will hear you next time.